Dr. Velkson's four eyes blinked in rapid succession as he stared at the medical readout hovering before him. The human's vital signs couldn't be correct. They simply couldn't. "Run the diagnostic again," he commanded his assistant, a young Thrin who had joined the Galactic Medical Corps only 3 cycles ago. The assistant's tentacles danced across the holographic interface. "Sir, I've run it 5 times. The readings are accurate." Commander Sarah Chen sat on the examination platform, swinging her legs casually while the alien doctors muttered among themselves in 3 different languages. She'd been through this routine before. Every time humans joined a new joint operation, the medics panicked. "Is there a problem?" she asked, her tone patient but tinged with amusement. Dr. Velkson turned to face her, his translator device humming. "Commander Chen, your blood contains levels of a stimulant compound that would cause immediate cardiac failure in virtually every species in the Galactic Council. The concentration is catastrophic." Sarah's eyebrows rose. "You mean caffeine?" "If that is what you call it, yes. This caffeine is classified as a Class 7 toxin in our medical database. We use it in military applications, sedatives for the Kryn, who have triple-reinforced neural systems." The doctor's voice carried a note of genuine concern. "The amount in your bloodstream right now would kill a Velasian instantly." "Oh." Sarah checked her watch. "Yeah, I had 3 cups this morning. Pretty light day, actually. Usually it's 5 or 6. The room fell silent except for the soft beeping of medical equipment. Dr. Velkson's translator seemed to malfunction, repeating her words twice before he could respond. You regularly ingest a Class 7 toxin? Multiple times per day? Well, we don't call it a toxin. We call it breakfast." Sarah grinned at the doctor's horrified expression. "Look, Doc, I appreciate the concern, but humans have been drinking coffee for thousands of years. It's completely safe for us. Makes us alert, helps us focus, and some people get headaches without it." The Thrin assistant consulted his datapad, his scales shifting to a pale shade of blue. What Sarah had learned indicated confusion in his species. "Commander, I'm reading your medical history. It says here that during the Kepler 442 expedition, you sustained exposure to Class 3 radiation without protective gear for 17 minutes? Yeah, that was a rough day. The shelter collapsed during the solar flare. The report says you experienced mild nausea and fatigue." The assistant's voice climbed an octave. 17 minutes of Class 3 radiation causes cellular breakdown in most species. The Quelix delegate who was exposed for 45 seconds last year required complete organ regeneration. Dr. Velkson pulled up more files, his eyes widening with each new entry. "Your gravitational tolerance? You've operated in environments up to 2.3 standard gravities. Our heavy world specialists require exoskeletal support at 1.7. Humans evolved on a pretty dense planet," Sarah explained. "Earth's gravity is actually on the higher end of habitable worlds. Makes us good at, well, not collapsing." The doctor scrolled further. "Your species' temperature tolerance range is..." This must be an error. "It spans nearly 80 degrees on the standard scale." Sounds about right. "I've personally worked in environments from -30 to +50 Celsius. It's not comfortable, but we manage." "Manage?" Dr. Velkson's voice cracked. "Commander, the Quilnar, ice world specialists, can barely function outside a 20-degree range. The Hephaestons, adapted to volcanic environments, have a 30-degree tolerance. How does your species..." "We adapt." Sarah shrugged. "Look, I get that we're weird by galactic standards, but humans are pretty versatile. We had to be. Earth threw everything at us. Ice ages, heat waves, predators, diseases, poisonous plants. We learned to survive in deserts and tundras, jungles and mountains. We're not the strongest or the fastest or the smartest, but we're really, really hard to kill." The Thrin assistant had turned an even paler blue. "Your planet tried to kill you?" "Pretty much constantly, yeah. Still does, actually. Hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, floods." Sarah counted on her fingers. "We've got plants that cause anaphylactic shock, animals that can kill with a single bite, weather patterns that can freeze or cook you depending on the season. Oh, and our star bombards us with cancer-causing radiation, so we just evolved to handle some level of DNA damage and repair." Dr. Velkson sank into his chair, which adjusted automatically to his physiology. "Your immune system," he said weakly, pulling up another chart. "It's showing antibodies for 17 different pathogens that don't exist in this sector of space." "Vaccinations," Sarah confirmed. "We inject ourselves with weakened versions of diseases so our bodies learn to fight them." Standard procedure for human children. You voluntarily expose your young to pathogens? The doctor looked faint. Small amounts, yeah. It's preventative medicine. For a long moment, Dr. Velkson simply stared at the human commander. Finally, he spoke. Commander Chen, in my 40 years of practicing medicine across 200 species, I have never encountered anything quite like humanity. Your species treats lethal toxins as beverages, survives radiation that liquefies organs, operates in gravitational fields that would crush most beings, and intentionally exposes yourselves to diseases. You come from a world that seems designed specifically to create the most resilient, stubborn, and frankly terrifying species in the known galaxy. Sarah smiled. Thank you? It wasn't entirely a compliment. Dr. Velkson began typing notes rapidly. I'm updating the medical database. Human baseline toxicology and environmental tolerance are so far outside standard parameters that they require their own classification system. You're all officially labeled as Death World survivors. I'll take it. Sarah hopped off the examination platform. So am I cleared for duty? The doctor made a gesture that his translator interpreted as a resigned sigh. Commander, at this point I suspect you could be exposed to hard vacuum and somehow find a way to complain about the temperature. Yes, you're cleared. Though I'm prescribing you a limit of 10 cups of your coffee per day. 10? Doc, that's actually more than I usually drink. Consider it preventative medicine, Dr. Velkson said dryly. Preventative for me. My cardiovascular system can't handle much more of this shock. As Sarah left the medical bay, she passed a group of Quilnar engineers who pressed themselves against the walls, giving her a wide berth. Word had apparently already spread. Humans, the galaxy was learning, were walking contradictions. Fragile enough to need protection from their own star, yet resilient enough to drink poison for pleasure. And in the vast expanse of space, that reputation was quickly becoming humanity's greatest asset. After all, if your morning routine was another species' lethal dose, what could the universe possibly throw at you that you hadn't already survived?